welcome back to the Bookish Pod, y'all. I'm Shy, and C is joining us over the phone. So,
Yes.
C, you want to run them through what our episode's going to be about today?
We are going to be talking about the first Folk of Air book. So, The Cruel Prince.
By Miss Holly Black, the queen.
Yeah.
The queen.
Of Enemies to Lovers.
Yes.
The queen of fantasy.
We love Holly Black. So,
Yes.
real quick.
I've got to read her other book.
Oh, yeah. I want to do her other series so bad. So real quick, before we jump into the book, I want to remind y'all that we do have an Instagram page. It's at the Bookish Pod 25. You can go on there and see all of our book reviews, kind of keep up with us on what we do. And also, we put this in our last episode, and I think I'm going to start saying it, because I would like to hear from y'all. I'd like to hear y'all's, books that you enjoyed, books you didn't. So our email is thebookishpod25, just like our Instagram. It's at gmail.com. And if you have a book that you want us to review or want us to talk about, send it to us.
Also, another thing, if you have any drawings for book besties or anything, send that to us.
Yes.
We're always looking for pictures for thumbnails and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I will say.
Yeah. Like we said in our Get to Know Us episode, this is a big book club. That's kind of what we've designed it to be. So.
Yeah, it's our giant book club.
I just want to.
We're all in it.
Do what?
We're all in it together.
Yeah. Is it bad that made me think of that song?
We're all in this together. All sing up.
Okay. I want to address something real quick. If y'all have noticed, we have background music now. I just want to address real quick for all my Twilight girlies. It is the playlist from the Twilight soundtrack on YouTube. So, it's very bookish to me. I like it. So.
Ooh, I'm about the Bridgerton soundtrack.
Oh, the Bridgerton soundtrack?
It's really good.
Alright, see. This is your episode. You take it away.
We both really like The Cruel Prince. We've both read it, but I've read it more recently. Unless Shai has read it without telling me.
I have not.
Okay. So I read it back in the spring.
Spring?
And it is personally I'm thinking it's spring.
Spring or summer? Somewhere in there.
And it is a book series that I personally love. It is one of my favorite book series. I talk about it a lot. So it's about this girl named Jude. And she's a huge... Okay, as I was saying, Jude is it's about this girl named Jude, okay? And she's a human in this fairy world. The kingdom is called Elfhame. And humans are generally, they're thought of as servants, as lesser than the elves or fairy. whatever you call them.
The Fae.
The Fae.
Yeah, the Fae.
And so she wants to be a knight. Like, more than anything, she wants to be a knight. She wants to prove her. And it's just kind of... I don't know how to explain the rest of the book, exactly. It's an enemies to lovers.
Yeah.
Maybe what? I'm an enemies to lovers girl.
It's also YA. I want to preference
yes, it
that.
is YA. It's very YA. I love it. It is such a good series.
So, our couple in the series, I'm going to kind of pick up where C left off. Because I actually have the copy of the book, so I've been, like, flipping through here while she's been talking.
Her.
Trying to find some extra stuff. So, our main characters are Jude and Carden. So, Jude is the, like, adopted daughter of a general, and he is very bloodthirsty. He enjoys war, and I personally feel like that's where Jude's, like, want to be a knight came from.
Yeah.
As much as, like, she won't admit it, I feel like she wanted to be like Maddox. That's the general that raised her. So he's her sister's father, and their mother was human. So it's, yeah, it's kind of complicated.
Yeah. You want a complicated family tree, read The Cruel Prince.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, I seen a theory that Jude and Carden were related.
Ew.
So,
but you.
I know, right? It's, like, it's gag-worthy.
Sweet old Alabama.
So
I couldn't resist.
I know. So I wanna read a little snippet real quick. Y'all are not allowed to make fun of my reading because I don't read out loud often. So this little snippet, this is Jude talking about Carden, okay? And like we talked about, it's enemies to lovers, but this was when I really realized that Jude was kind of in love with him from the get-go. She says she hates him, but the way she talks about him in this little, like, snippet, yeah.
Yeah.
So the snippet...
But also, I think realizing what Belkin does to him behind closed doors.
Yeah. Yeah, when she found out, like, what his brother did to her. Yeah. So, the little snippet that I'm going to read is on page 30. And, like I said, it's Jude talking about Carden. So, here it is. It says, "And Carden is even more beautiful than the rest, with black hair as indecent as a raven's wing, and cheekbones sharp enough to cut out a girl's heart. I hate him more than all the others. I hate him so much that sometimes when I look at him, I can hardly breathe." Like, honey, that's not hate.
Yeah. Which also, it could very well be a thing where she's confused on what love is to her.
I feel like that's how it was, because there's another one in here where she's talking about him. I love the way she talks about him, because she's so descriptive with how she, like, talks about Carden. And,
like, it isn't too descriptive.
Huh?
At the same time. It isn't too descriptive at the same time.
No, it puts me in mind of Feyre in A Court of Thorns and... not Thorns and Roses. A Court of Mist and Fury, where she first, like, really starts talking about Rhysand. And a way other than, like, hating him and, like, talking about his eyes and stuff. And she just goes, like, so in depth about it. Another snippet that I liked was when they were in, like, lessons. And so this is when I really started, and you may call me weird for this because of how it reads, but on page 43 there's a snippet that says Carden's gaze catches mine, and I can't help the evil smile that pulls up the corners of my mouth. His eyes are bright as coals, his hatred a living thing, shimmering in the air between us like the air above black rocks on a blazing summer day. So,
yeah.
It's just the way...
I think this is really what started on the enemies to lovers thing.
Oh, yeah. But they make such a good couple because I don't want to give away, like, too many spoilers, but she rescues him.
Yeah.
So, like, his whole family gets killed during a thing, and she rescues him and doesn't turn him in to his brother. So.
Which also, I think she strongly believed that she needed him for her plan.
Oh, yeah. So, alright. So, let's just kind of deep dive into the book. What did you think about Jude's character?
Wait, what?
What did you think about Jude's character development?
I personally really liked it. She went from this girl who, she wanted to prove herself, but it didn't seem like she had everything she needed necessarily to prove herself.
I like that.
And she went from this person who, where she was, something that I just remembered that she talks about a lot is she is afraid. She's afraid of everything in that world.
Yes.
But she used that fear to fuel her and keep her going.
Yeah.
I love that.
Because keep in mind, they're human in a fae world. So, like, the food is dangerous to them. They have to eat salt with their food. They're not allowed to, like, dance at the parties or drink the wine or anything.
Yeah.
So, I feel like, and I think I've mentioned this to you before, because contrary to popular belief, I do really enjoy the ACOTAR series. As I get older and I reread it at least once a year, I find new things that I love about it, and I also find new things that I'm not too crazy about. But I feel like the Cruel Prince series is kind of the jump start into the series of the girls who started reading ACOTAR, because Jude and Feyre are so similar.
It's like so basically what you're saying is the Cruel Prince is the YA version of ACOTAR?
Pretty much. Because, like, I don't know how to say his name. Locke?
I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him.
Oh, yeah. But he reminds me so much of Tamlin in ACOTAR. Because Tamlin, like, everybody's saying, oh, he redeemed himself and yada yada. Tamlin used Feyre because he was lonely. He manipulated her, and that's exactly what Locke did.
Yes!
That's exactly...
Not only that, Locke tried to kill Jude.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in our next episode.
But, like, he embarrassed her multiple times. Intentionally. But he said he loved her. And that's exactly what Tamlin did to Feyre. Another another YA series that the Cruel Prince really, which ACOTAR is not YA, do not twist my words. A YA series that the Cruel Prince reminds me of is the one that I'm currently reading, Light Lark. So Oro wasn't like as bad as Locke. He didn't like want to hurt Isa, but he did in his own way kind of use her.
Yeah.
I think he actually did like grow to love her. I like him as a character, and I think he actually did like grow to love her, but he did use her.
They just weren't meant for each other.
Yeah, and I think that's the case with the Cruel Prince. Deep down, I do think Locke loved Jude in some sort of weird, messed up way. I do think he loved her, but I think he loved the idea of what she could offer him more, because like he said it from the get-go that he loved to create stories, and Jude was full of stories because she didn't like conform. So I think that was his thing more than like actually loving her.
Okay, I've got another thing. Something that also could have fueled his actions is from the way you hear him talk about his past and his mother dying, he could have very well easily been absent of affection and love growing up.
Yeah, I don't think he really knew how to love.
Yeah. Because, like, from what it sounds like, his mother died at a young age.
So, I'm going to spoil...
Like, well, he was at a young age.
I'm going to spoil something real quick, just because I can. And I think it's very, like, you need to know this before you get into the story. Locke's mother was killed. She was murdered. And they thought that they killed him too. I won't say who murdered her, because I'm not going to spoil the whole
they
thing.
thought they killed her other kid.
Oh, yeah. So that's a whole nother
Yeah.
thing. We'll get into that. But yeah, his mother was murdered, and he didn't realize that. He thought that she just died.
Yeah, and also, like, it sounded like she died when he was at a young age.
Yeah. And so he was all by himself in like the estate. And so I could see where he just didn't really know how to love.
He didn't have affection growing up.
Yeah. And which we kind of...
So that could have...
We see that with Carden, too, I feel like.
The difference with Carden and him, though, is Carden learns how to love.
Yeah, Carden, he's not so twisted. Because, like, in The Cruel Prince, he's made out to be, like, super sadistic. And, like, psycho. But he's really not when you get down to it. And so, I feel like that's where their differences really lie.
And Carden, like, I feel like he had the sense that he didn't want to be like everyone else made him out to be.
Yeah. I think he pretended a lot because it was safer for him than, like, actually showing that he was a fairly compassionate person.
Yeah, and I feel like, and, like, think about his rule for himself, that he didn't let himself let people die on his watch.
Yeah. Because, like, he could have killed Jude a bunch of times, but he didn't.
He could have had his brother executed.
Yeah. Did he torture Jude? Yes.
Yeah.
Was he very, very cruel to her? Yes.
Yes.
But he never actually, like, killed her. Even though he could
Yeah,
have.
and it didn't technically harm her any.
No, not really. And which we'll
He
get...
emotionally harmed her.
Yeah. we'll get into more of like his character development in The Wicked King when we do that episode, because he makes a really big move that really shows how much he actually genuinely cares for Jude and about Jude.
Yes. By the way, Shy.
Yes.
Do you have books that are written in Cardin's perspective?
No.
I want to read them so bad.
I know. So.
Because I need to know what his thoughts were when everything in The Wicked King happened. I'm not going to talk about it right now until our next episode.
So real quick, I want to say something. Remember, Jude's, like, I guess Oaks would be her stepbrother, right?
Yes.
Remember him. He's gonna come into play in these next, like, episodes. So remember,
As a huge...
he's what, like, maybe 8?
Yeah.
Yeah. So remember Oaks. Because he's very important. And Jude, the reason that Jude does what she does and why her and Cardin kind of join forces is because of Oaks. And we'll talk about that more in the Wicked King episode, because it kind of starts there. Like, Jude slowly starts to figure it out towards the end of the Cruel Prince that, like, Oaks is...
I feel like she figures it out in, like, one whole face plant.
Yeah.
And, like, no one even, like, dropped any hints or anything to her.
No. After she killed what's-his-name, because he tried to kill her in her bedroom, I think that's kind of,
I asked you, like, 10 minutes ago.
I think that's where, I think that's where she really started to, like, like Sienna said, it was pretty much a face plant. And, yeah. So, well, I guess we really need to talk about it in this one, because as I'm sitting and, like, looking back through it, in chapter 30, it really kind of goes into detail about it. So I'll just go ahead and say it. Oaks is Locke's brother, and so Locke's mother wound up becoming pregnant by one of the kings. Or the princes. One of them. I don't remember if it was the king or the prince. And so Oaks...
Prince.
It was one of the princes?
Yes.
Okay. I thought so, but I wasn't sure. And so she went to Maddox's new wife, not Vivian's mom, Maddox's new wife, and told her everything that was going on. And so Maddox's new wife winds up raising Oaks as her own. So Maddox, I don't know if Maddox ever really thought that Oaks was his, or if he knew from the get-go that he wasn't.
I'm pretty sure it said that he knew from the get-go.
I feel like he would almost have to.
Yeah.
But, so...
I'm pretty sure that he did.
Yeah. So, in chapter 30, so, like, right before the book ends, Jude brings Cardin out of hiding, and Cardin crowns Oaks as the new king. And so, when he crowns Oaks as the king, Jude tells him, she goes, hold on, let me find it, and I'll read it, because I love this part. So, they have the crown, and Oaks is up there with Carden, and his brother is like, I don't know how to pronounce his brother's name. Balkans, something like that. So he was wanting to become king, and that's why the whole family died. And so Carden, right here it starts, and Jude says, I gather Oaks close to me and put the crown into his hands so that he can see it, so that he can get used to holding it. Vivi pats him encouragingly on the back. Bring me the crown, Carden, Belkin says. Prince Carden turns on his elder brother, the same cool and calculated gaze with which he has regarded so many other creatures before his torn the wings from their back, before he's cast them into rivers or sent them from the court entirely. No, brother, I do not think that I will. I think that if I did not have another reason to cross you, I would do it for spite. I love that part. Carden, oh my god. I love that part so much. So, C sadly had to leave us, but I'm going to finish this episode real quick. And yeah, so essentially she tells Oaks, she says, take the crown to Carden, and she tells Carden, she goes, show Oaks. She whispers, show him what he's supposed to do. Kneel down. And so Carden was like really nervous to do this because it makes it seem like he's like, I don't know how to describe this, but essentially they crown Oaks and make him the prince or king in waiting. So he goes to the mortal world with Vivian to live, and she's going to keep him there and train him until he's ready to like come back to Elfin and become king. Because see, Carden doesn't want to be king, but he's going to sit on the throne kind of as a placeholder until Oaks gets back. So that's the first book of The Cruel Prince, and I really love this book. I know C does. She unfortunately had to leave. But she'll be back when we get ready to do the next episodes. So there's 2 more books in the series, so there will be 2 more episodes regarding this particular series. And yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed it. I know our episodes can be like scatterbrained sometimes, and there's always like background noise and stuff, but we want to be realistic with y'all. We want to be like true, and so we don't edit. And also because, you know, when you edit, I feel like sometimes you make things seem unrealistic. We're both students, we have chaotic lives, and so I feel like by doing this, we kind of share that with y'all. And so, yeah, that's all for this episode. I do want to say stay tuned and stay up to date on our Instagram, because I'm going to be doing some episodes on Her Soul to Take, a dark romance book. And I'm going to be doing, let's see, I'm going to throw these 2 all into one. I'm going to be doing an episode on Twisted Love and Twisted Games. And then when I read Twisted Hate and Twisted Lies, I'm going to throw those 2 into one episode. So stay tuned for those. I'm currently reading Lightlark, like rereading it. And when I get finished with it, I'm going to do an episode on Lightlark. I'm going to do an episode on Nightbane, and then when I get Skyshade, I will do an episode on Skyshade for y'all. We're also going to do some Fourth Wing content, so stay tuned for that. We've got a lot of episodes coming out soon. And I think you guys will really enjoy it. So, thanks for watching, y'all. We'll catch y'all on the next book. Bye.